Something that has taken over the web, with social networks becoming a stage where people either gain or lose their occupations in a matter of days. This is a word that probably many celebrities or heads of state would not look forward to hearing or experiencing. But here's a question. Is it so that even these blessed people, so loved and kind by others, can avoid it? Well, let me introduce you to MrBeast, the man who gained viral fame by exceeding expectations, giving away millions, planting trees, cleaning oceans, and so much more, or even expanding the very definition of what a content creator is. Nevertheless, pulling the life-giving scare off people, even MrBeast, is not immune to culture. Surprised? You're not alone. Just think of a person who spends their time assisting people, creating only good content, and encouraging people to be good to others. Now picture the same individual receiving all sorts of abuse, right from being painted as one utilizing performative charity to being labeled as problematic for some of the tweets they shared. If it sounds preposterous, that is indeed the case. It is preposterous, and that is exactly why it is so successful. But wait, absurdity doesn't keep the internet away. Periodically, efforts to cancel MrBeast have emerged, and each seems more pathetic than the previous attempt. This is a man who started counting from 1 to 100,000 on YouTube eyes from scratch, and now is containing families with homes, educating children, and entertaining millions with challenges. But fans are always attempting to cancel him and his collaborators, the accidents that are beyond anyone's control. It makes you wonder, is this canceling culture at its best, or at its utter humiliating worst, or does it point to something larger that society is? Today, we're going all in on the easiest jokes in the book that will try to cancel MrBeast. In this episode, we will break down the arguments, analyze the spectacle, and show that all these endeavors have been done to ensure that he remains one of the most significant YouTube creators. Therefore, getting down to business, enjoying what is perhaps the silliest mystery ever to have graced these pages, here we go. Number 1. The offensive content claim. The first quite recognizable try of canceling MrBeast can be traced back to the beginning of his content, when some people considered that he and his jokes and sketches were disgusting. Contrary to this expectation, the facts from the context look completely different. These videos I discovered years ago before he became so popular, and although comedy matures, cancel culture does not. More shocking about this attempt is that some of these allegations were either over-interpenetration or amplified. This is because as MrBeast continued to gain followers, the content being produced was almost entirely philanthropy and positivity. Yet, the internet has a great ability to search for the past no matter how much a person's personality has transformed. For instance, some of the old skits that have been criticized as inappropriate, as far as one is aware of them being satirical pieces. Instead of seeing him as a more developed creator from the early days, trolls wanted to keep him in the same place. Still, people who keenly follow MrBeast on his channels understand that today's behavior proves more truthful than the joke he made years ago. Number 2. The charity criticism. That's where the paradox is found. MrBeast has faced criticisms regarding his charity. Yes, you read that right. Critics complained his charity is performative and calculated to promote him. But let's break it down. It doesn't really matter whether he wants the limelight for his charity work, so long as he is making the right difference. Yes, Cabby recently agreed to plant 20 million trees, but he has done far more than just tweet. He has also donated life-changing amounts of money. But there are still some forums on the internet that continue to present him as insincere, leaving out the thousands of people he has helped. Which is even more ridiculous if it came from a woman is the fact that there is such a thing as double standard. While other charities get appreciation for advertising their causes to get more people to help them out, MrBeast gets criticism for doing the same on YouTube. His critics do not recognize that in addition to motivating others, he motivates millions to make donations to potentially unnoticed causes. Measured by any standard, his philanthropic efforts are a positive social good, making these efforts at cancel culture not merely stupid, but counterpoint. Number 3. The MrBeast Burgers. Backlash. MrBeast started his virtual restaurant chain in 2020, and the name is MrBeast Burgers. That is why, like in any big investment, there are always some problems. Soon people were complaining about delivery time as well as the quality of the food. Basically, all the problems a customer may face were waved to MrBeast, but for reasons that had nothing to do with him. While most of these complaints were partisan considerably to third-party delivery services, critics were quick to call for boycotts. It was funny that the backlash was directed towards the wrong subject and was all the more symptomatic of the internet where people are blamed for system failures. No less shameful, some skeptics decided that MrBeast used the workers, although he helped new restaurants open during the period of an economic crisis. He saved businesses through corporate America, and some of them through his loans program, which was an economic relief during the COVID-19. Nevertheless, people found flaws in the system and made them a cause for scorn. I think it sums it up pretty well, where people focus more on one element in its simplicity than on the whole picture, thereby losing a grand view. Number 4. Envy and misrepresentation. Jealousy is another common thread whenever people try to cancel MrBeast what he stands for. So when creators get jealous, whether from fellow creators or media outlets, they tend to misrepresent their peers. Once or twice, the headlines morphed his action or quoted him out of proportion and created a ruckus. But such attempts are usually futile because in MrBeast's brand, everything is real to a certain extent. They could never accuse him of being fuzzy on the details about the origin of the money and its usage. This has left his critics fuming. For instance, there was a time that a tweet almost misled people into thinking that MrBeast is stockpiling money when in fact he is giving it away. The reality? Still, MrBeast invests nearly all his earnings by spending them to produce new, more meaningful videos and give to charity. The business model being exemplified here is one of selflessness, but jealousy still reigns only in the hearts of his critics. Number 5. Sure, and the incorporation of viable asset as well as lessons learned. This is where MrBeast strikes me as the most remarkable. There is nothing like complacency in his spirit. He does not allow it to dissuade him. Instead, he takes criticism as a chance. During interviews and on the Twitter handle, he has accepted constructive criticism while ejecting other unfounded ones. This combination of modesty and assertiveness has made him beloved by his audience. This is proof that good intentions and the willingness to work can overcome culture waves. Every time they have tried to cancel him, they have failed, but he has learned a lesson. From polishing his content to enhancing his projects or responding to logical issues, MrBeast stays true to the fact that the secret to success in the digital touch is adaptability. And for every untrue claim, his supporters step in to defend him, which only builds the power of his fan base. Reflecting on these attempts to cancel MrBeast, one thing becomes abundantly clear. Cancel culture invariably speaks more of the accusers than the accused. In the case of MrBeast, the outrageous allegations against him only show that shaping people's opinions on the internet can be done for page views, followers, or plain malice. However, he stays an optimist and retains faith in the idea that good has the ability and should rise above the negative. Overall, the reaction to MrBeast should be seen as a standing example of how certain individuals keep coming back from the receiving end time and time again. But, as much as most of the action in this and all other endeavors may well be motivated most favorably, there will always be detractors. However, he has overcome these vices and brought every absurd allegation as a bonus to higher achievements, which is a lesson for all of us. As we wrap up, let's ask ourselves, what does cancel culture really serve? Is it a mechanism of check and balance, or is it the cudgel to take down anyone who tries to be successful? And for MrBeast, it's obvious that canceling culture has not only been ineffective, but also did not bring knowledge. Rather than giving detractors fuel for the fire, it has furthered his course and ensured his position as an exemplar for innovators everywhere. We want to thank you for coming with us through this process. So if you found this look at the worst shots fired at MrBeast, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more content like this. Until next time, to the listeners, let them be kind and curious and do not be brought down by the opinionated trolls.